Lifeguards banned me and my kids from a public beach, so I reported them to the city council. What they found out was unreal. 2 weeks ago, my kids went hiking. We followed a path that went very deep into a forest, and we came across a little beach type of place. It's really small, and there were maybe 10 people there. Obviously, we had just come from hiking, and I didn't have the kids' swimsuits. So when they asked me if they could go into the water, I said that I'd see. When we got closer, and I saw that it didn't go deeper than my 2-year-old's stomach for a good 6 meters, I told myself I'd pull up my pants and go 2 to 3 meters in and watch the kids from there. So I agreed to let them in and told them to remove their shirts and pants, to only keep their undies, and to jump in, which they gladly did. They were playing in the water for about 3 minutes when the lifeguard came by and asked me if my daughter had a top. I told him quickly that this wasn't planned, that her swimsuit does have a top, but that I didn't have it with me. He replied something about it not being a nudist or topless beach, and that she needed a top, so that maybe I could put her shirt on. I wasn't entirely sure whether he was kidding or not. I mean, he was really young looking, 16 to 18. I thought it might have been a joke. So I asked him, really? He said, yes, really. So I got worked up and told him, what does my daughter's chest have that my son doesn't? So he said, well, women have breasts. To which I replied, yes, women do, once they reach puberty. Right now she's just a little girl with nipples. Everyone has nipples, boy or girl. He looked at me and just said, okay, she cannot stay on the beach like that. At that point, I was really pissed, probably to the point where I couldn't even watch them properly in the water. So I told them that we're going to get going. I didn't go back for a while since there is also another beach nearby, but then we went hiking yesterday, and the kids asked if we could stop by the beach. I mean, this time around, I decided to plan and bring their swimwear as well as mine. We got there, the kids had their swimwear on already, and they just took off their shoes and socks and jumped into the water. I was taking off my dress when the same lifeguard came by. He said that he had spoken to his manager and that we weren't allowed on the beach, that they take child porn very seriously. Again, I thought he was kidding. Like, seriously, what the hell? So I told him, you better be kidding. And he says, please don't make me call for backup. My 3-year-old even asked, Mommy, do we have to go again? And it just made me feel really upset. And I asked him in a calming voice, can I please have the number of your manager and his name? He said he didn't have it on him, and I told him that I'd go ahead and wait while he called him. So I got undressed and went into the water to watch the kids. What he ended up doing was to call the other security people, 3, who are also 16 to 18 looking obviously summer jobs, and they told me that I had to leave or that they would have to escort me out of the park. My kiddos didn't need that type of stress. I didn't want to argue, so I politely asked for the manager's number again. And one of the guys said, I am the manager, and I just asked you to leave. So we got dressed and we left. I decided to contact the city's council since I really can't find the number for the park's direction. She was in total disbelief and just couldn't believe that they would have asked a mom and her 2 kids to leave because of that. She gave me the case number 2, in case I need it, and she promised that she'd call me back to update me after they get a hold of the lifeguards and tell me what was going to happen. She ended the conversation by saying that she was a grandmother of a 4-year-old who goes to the beach topless and never thought of it as offensive. Update, 2 days later. The lady called back about an hour ago, and we actually spoke for a while. She started by saying how the whole team that worked with her got really upset and concerned about the whole story. She said they did some quick investigation and found some quite interesting things. Happens that one of her colleagues has a teenage son who knows these guys who went to volunteer at the national park. They go to high school together, and as part of a class, they have to complete 24 hours of volunteer work. Apparently, when the mother questioned her son about their volunteering at the beach, he said, they don't really volunteer there. They mostly host parties and call it volunteering. Most of the 10th graders meet there to drink and smoke. Apparently, he had just not told his mom because he didn't think they were harming anyone. And I mean, let's not forget it. The kid is 16. I probably wouldn't have called them out either. I would think it's just something silly. So, they sent 2 people who work for the town to check it out at around 1:30 p.m. yesterday, and what they saw was crazy. Apparently, there were about 15 teenagers there, all drinking, some smoking, some topless. She even added that there was a guy who refused to come out of the water with his girlfriend because they were both naked. No shit, they didn't want us there. It was their private little beach of drinking, smoking, and fucking. The cops came with alcohol tests, asked to see IDs, called parents to come and get their kids at the park's entrance, and apparently gave them tickets for being underage and drinking. The lady also said they are in the process of contacting the school to let them know how their volunteering experience worked out and how they were not dedicated to their lifeguard activities. Well, that explains a lot.